Good evening. This is my second video in an educational series that I wanted to put together to help people make profitable trades. As I mentioned in the first video, there are a lot of people that are home now trying to trade to make a profit, and they're blowing up their accounts and losing money. The techniques that I discussed in the first video have worked consistently for me and for others for a very long time. In that video I showed you trades that had occurred. In this video I want to show you setups so that you might profit from these trades when they trigger. The first setup that I see here is gold futures. You can trade gold futures if you don't have enough money to trade a gold futures account. You can trade the stock GLD. It won't give you quite the same amount of leverage, but it will have the same effect. As you can see, we have a descending triangle. That triangle has an upper trend line, and that upper trend line has been breached. We also are using the Ichimoku, and as you can see, the Ichimoku cloud is this red-green line down here, and the Ichimoku baseline is the blue line above it. Our price has now breached the cloud and is above the Ichimoku baseline. This is one of the criteria of 3 that are necessary for us to take this trade. The second criteria is we have to break the downtrend line, which we have now done. That's the second criteria. And the third criteria we haven't triggered yet. The third criteria is we have to breach the previous high within the last 20 days. Here's an expanded view of that same chart. As you can see, here's the Ichimoku, here's the Ichimoku baseline, here's the trendline break. Now here's the most recent high, and I have put in a buy trigger. The buy December gold futures at a price of $19.37. I don't place trades on what I hope will happen. The trade has to come to me. For example, this trade could easily just bounce right back down here into the 1910, 1906 level. So it has to breach the previous high before I will trigger. My suggestion is, if you wish to participate in a trade similar to this, that you trigger on the next break of this previous high. The other trade that I'm looking at is the silver futures. As you can see, we have a somewhat similar setup. Silver's gave back a lot more ground than gold did, but now it's starting to perform fairly well. As you can see, we have higher lows and we have higher highs, and we seem to be progressing into an upward trend. Now, again, we have to have the criteria. One is, here's the Ichimoku. We are now above the cloud, and we are now above the Ichimoku baseline. So that's the first criteria. The second criteria is we have to break the downtrend line from the previous prices. This line is not quite as clean as the other. As you can see, we only have 2 points. So I don't feel quite as strongly about this trend line as the trend line in gold futures. However, the third criteria is we have to break the previous high of the last 20 days, and that price is $25.71. I put a trigger at $25.67. I tend to be a little early because we've already broken the trend line, but if we do not pierce $25.71, I will consider closing the trade as at a break even or a loss. typically what will happen is when we break this 25.71, the price will shoot up higher as the stops get triggered on the other traders. I have placed a buy order to buy silver futures at 25,675, good till canceled. This trade may proceed on through, or it may retrace back down, in which case we'll look for the setup to come again as we move back up. We may get in at a lower price. Presently, with the election looming, there's going to be a lot of volatility. So you may want to step aside until the election is over. But typically, when the Fed prints money, the price of precious metals goes up. And I don't think it's going to make much difference who wins the election. The money printing machine is going to have to kick into high gear as the stimulus package and other bailouts become important. So I expect precious metals to perform well over the next year. This is a chart of the US dollar. Presently, the US dollar has been in a downtrend. And as you can see, it broke this downtrend line and it's in the cloud. Actually, it's just dropped below the cloud and below the baseline. Presently, it's at support. Here's an expanded view of this. So, had you taken this trade, I don't trade Forex, but had you taken this trade, you would have sold short at about the 93.20 level. But what has happened is the price of the dollar has gone down and it's met this support at 92.52, which is support as you can see in the past. It bounced on that support. If the dollar breaks through this support and heads further down, then you will see the trades in gold and silver trigger. I hope this is helpful. Please leave comments as to how I can improve my videos. Thank you.